Hello, this is Roxana, and once again, this episode ran pretty long, so we split the episode into two parts, with the first part going over the animated films Aladdin from 1992 and its subsequent sequels, and the second part features us going over the remake of that 1992 film. So, once again, thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy this next episode of live action Remorse. Thank you and enjoy. Hello and welcome to another episode of live action Remorse. I am Roxana.
And I am Nikki.
On this episode, Nikki's going to be fighting for her life as we talk about Aladdin.
Oh my god, I don't like doing it. I will forefront this before we even get into anything. I have been dreading this way more than any other episode. I dreaded it before we started, and now that we've seen all the movies and we were, waiting to record this episode, I have just been in such a terrible fucking mood. It hurts just to think about the movie and think about talking about it. Like Beauty and the Beast. Like when you look at the other terrible movies we've done, Beauty and the Beast, I was kind of excited to rip into it. I was excited to record that episode. Dumbo, I was just kind of apathetic. It was just, we got to do this, whatever.
You could tell.
This,
You could tell we were apathetic.
I genuinely, it gives me, real, actual negative feelings.
Yes, mostly for Nikki, but also kind of for me. This one was a trial. I don't think we have any more news in the live action circuit, do we?
I feel like something happened, but I can't. I don't remember anything specific.
I don't remember anything either. It's just not there. Yeah, it's just I'm not getting anything. Maybe if we put out
the trailer for Moana might have come out.
Oh yeah, it looks like heinous ass. Looks absolutely god awful.
Yeah, but we knew that from the first trailer.
No, but we're talking it's real 30 Rock hours in here. It's really bad. However bad you think it is, it's worse.
The news?
What?
The Fern Gully live action remake that got announced. That's what I was thinking. That's not Disney.
Okay, yeah, that's what. It's not Disney, but I feel like going forward, for reasons that we'll announce at the end of this episode, this will probably be just our, though the podcast has a focus, this will be our general dumping ground for pessimistic, or not pessimistic, but more cynical Hollywood news, because this pain will end. Fern Gully. Do you think some fucking idiot saw how many people kept invoking Fern Gully in relation to Avatar, and they were like, does that mean that people like Fern Gully?
Oh, it's fucked up.
The metrics say that they talk about Fern Gully a lot.
It is. It could.
The metrics, the bean counter says that the youth talk about Fern Gully. It's like, no, they're not. You haven't seen Fern Gully. Shut the fuck up.
Try to cash in on the Avatar money. It's like, oh, if this was just like Avatar, then it will also make billions of dollars.
I am very fond of fairies. Give me a good fairy movie, for the love of fucking God. gonna be real ironic because this thing is probably gonna have a metric fuck ton of CGI, and Ferngully is like famously like a very green movie, very movie about like kind of eco-friendliness, and they're gonna make this movie and they're gonna talk about it being the movie we need right now or some shit, and then when you ask how much power the render farms on the CGI that is probably going to look awful and rushed like usual. When you ask about how much money that costs to run, they are going to be incredibly mum. When you ask about how much energy it's going to take to process that, not to suggest that it's on the level of the amount of money and energy that Gen AI data centers take up. But they're probably going to want to use Gen AI on this production like most of these fucking productions anyways. Because that's Hollywood, baby. Movies, now more than ever.
These render farms are Lorax approved, okay? This is the movie we need right now.
Remember when they said that about Minecraft?
They fucking say that about Minecraft?
Yes, they did. They did. I think Jack Black said it.
Shut the fuck up, Jack Black. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Cool. I'd like to hold out hope that it'll be different at some point. But right now, he's so wildly washed. Yeah, I think that's it in relation to live action remake news. Only other Disney news I can think of relates to Avengers Doomsday. And how they're like, oh, we're going to put new footage into Endgame to bridge the gap. And just like, y'all are going to act like none of this happened, aren't you?
They're going to put new scenes into the Aladdin live action remake to bridge the gap to the spin-off about the white guy.
Did you know about the spin-off before I mentioned it? Or was that information that you learned when I said it?
I had definitely read it in my research for this podcast, but I had forgotten it, and two, had never seen the character in question to know how ridiculous it was.
Yeah,
he has like 2 lines,
and he's a good actor too. So it's just like, I don't waste your time here. I know money, but don't waste your time here. Have some self-respect, actually. I guess we will do like usual and start with the original story. Admittedly, I was struggling a little, and I don't know if I think this is just more ADHD struggles like usual, but I can say a couple things that are different from the movie. This is of course presupposing you've seen the movie itself, but effectively, it's set in China for one, in the original story, which is fine. I just didn't expect it to be Chinese. And Aladdin, he's a ne'er-do-well. He doesn't really want to live with any kind of meaningful responsibility. A man shows up saying, oh, Aladdin, my nephew, you were after Aladdin's father passed away, in part because Aladdin refused to take any kind of responsibility for his life and other people's lives. A man shows up and he's like, Aladdin, my nephew, and he's like very emotional because he shows up and he's like he shows up to his and his mom's place. That's right. Both of Aladdin's parents play an actual material factor in the story, or specifically the version of the story. I should note that the original Aladdin story was not actually part of the original 1001 Nights text.
Yes.
Despite being one of the best known tales associated with it. It's reading off of Wikipedia here, because I will freely admit to this. It was added by the Frenchman Antoine Galland, based on a folktale that he had heard from the Syrian storyteller Hana Diab. So the man who says he's his uncle, he takes Aladdin to, like, he gains his trust. He gains Aladdin's trust, and he takes him to a magic cave. And then he told Aladdin, just like, oh well, I'll set you up as a merchant. I'll help you. get your life in order. And he really just wanted Aladdin to retrieve a magic lamp from from the cave. He is not his uncle. He is a sorcerer. He double crosses him. Aladdin finds himself trapped in the cave, which is a thing that happens. But beforehand, the sorcerer gave him a magic ring to help him. Aladdin, by accident rubbed the ring, and then a genie appears and releases him from the cave, allowing him to return to his mom while he had the lamp. His mom looks at the lamp, is like, this is very dirty. We can sell this because it seems very lavish. She tries to do so to buy food for their dinner, and a second, more powerful genie shows up. That's right. This story has two genies. This genie is more in keeping with the genie that, we're aware of from the story, where they're bound to do the bidding of the person holding the lamp. However, the three genie wishes are not in play here. You can just kind of ask for anything whenever. The genie of the lamp helps Aladdin become rich and powerful, and becomes betrothed and married to the princess, who in the original story, her name is Badroulbadour, and not Jasmine, which is a very different name. But Aladdin foiled her marriage to the vizier's son to be betrothed to her. The genie builds them a palace, and the sorcerer's like, "Ayo, what the fuck?" He gets it, he comes back, he tricks Badroulbadour to getting his hands on the lamp because she doesn't know how important the lamp is, and because he offered to exchange the new lamp for old, like they're switch lamps. He orders the genie of the lamp to take the palace along with all of its contents to his home in the Maghreb. Genie still has the magic ring though, so he's able to summon the lesser genie. The genie of the ring is too weak to undo the magics of the stronger genie, but he's able to transport Aladdin to the Maghreb, where, with the help of Princess Badroulbadour, he recovers the lamp, slays the sorcerer, and returns the palace to its proper place. The sorcerer's more powerful, evil brother. That's right, it's Jafar's crazy brother. Plots to destroy Aladdin for killing his brother, and disguises himself as an old woman, so there that is, known for her healing powers. Princess Badroulbadour falls for his disguise and commands the woman to stay in her palace in case of any illness. Aladdin is, of course, warned that this is happening by the genie of the lamp, and he fucking kills him. And eventually Aladdin succeeds to his father-in-law's throne and becomes the new sultan. There's a lot of changes in the film directed by John Musker and Ron Clements. The movie went through a lot of script changes. I'm sure part of it relates to the fact that I think we should probably foreground this because it is something that kind of hovers above Aladdin. Howard Ashman was dying. Mm-hmm. And, he had a full pitch for the movie. The movie was originally, it was one of the first things that he pitched at Disney. Disney was like, I don't see, they were like, we don't see that this could really work. I'm sure part of it is just racism. It kind of got shelved. And then Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast did tremendously well. Objectively, it resurrected Disney. It revived them. And then they said, okay, we can go back to Aladdin. But again, he was dying. He was dying of AIDS. And so that is kind of I wouldn't say it's too big a cloud because the movie's really good on a the quality of the movie is fantastic. And I don't think you would know that the movie was undergoing some turbulence with such a tragic illness and subsequent passing. But, it is still something that is a fact about the original movie. So on that note, we should move to the plot of the Disney movie.
The movie.
If that ain't Exactly.
Aladdin. Aladdin. Laddie.
As we call him, Laddie.
Laddie.
Uh,
Um,
that's my boy.
so this is probably the single film I've seen the most times in my life. I had it on DVD as a kid. It was one of my favorites. You know, say up there with maybe Shrek, The Road to El Dorado. You know, those many times. But Aladdin, I think most of all. So, it's always been one of my favorite Disney's. I know. I'm just gonna say, yeah, of course. Are you nostalgia biased, Nikki? Yeah, I'm fucking nostalgia biased. Jesus, I'm so insanely nostalgia biased. I'll admit that, but it's
I think this
also
is the one that.
a great ass movie.
I think this is the one that there will be most nostalgia bias from either of us,
Mhm.
unless they start remaking Pixar movies, in which case, God help us.
Oh God, that would, yeah,
um,
that would. I also had The Lion King. I watched quite a bit, which we're gonna get into next time.
yeah,
But
we're
did
gonna
not
get into
have
very soon.
like yeah, I've seen it many times when I was a kid because I had the DVD. But I probably saw like the Safari DVD extra short more than the actual movie. So Aladdin's still up there for me.
Remember, guys, we used
Tangled,
to
if
have
they
really
finish
fucking
that one,
yeah,
I'm very attached to Tangled.
Tangled, and they did like that's the thing. Like you're attached to Tangled, and they did a casting that you like, and that will probably be the beginning and end of the positives, which sucks. Better Man was good. I know you haven't seen it yet, but Better Man is very good. I really liked it a lot. It's bug fuck
That doesn't
crazy.
mean
I think it's a
anything
beautiful
though,
movie.
you know?
I hope they don't start remaking Pixar movies. That might be the additional. I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Docter was actively obstructing a thing like that, but also fuck him too for reasons that have been made evident in the interim. I guess I don't want to even directly quote what he said, but I will say that Pete Docter was rather dismissive of essentially anything being personal in Pixar, suggesting that, these movies aren't therapy, in which case, motherfucker, you directed Inside Out.
Yeah,
Shut the
and
fuck up.
I know he's not so creatively bankrupt to actually believe that because it did seem like more of an excuse of why films can't be for girls or gays.
Girls or brown people or anyone other than this stupid fucking white supremacist lowest common denominator.
That's We're getting off track here. Um,
I'll do it, but yeah, we'll make good time. It's fine.
Aladdin,
Yeah,
one of the best
Aladdin.
movies ever. It's about a
It's
boy.
it's about a diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough. Diamond in the rough.
Frank Welker really holding up the fort across the whole movie.
That I could like break down the way like everything flows together. Which fuck it. Let's just go through the movie from
Yeah,
top to
we
bottom.
gotta. It's really important that we do this too because you gotta know the ways in which the narrative gets broken.
Mhm. You start with Arabian Nights. Is it racist? Probably. I am
Yeah,
not qualified to get into it on a deep level. I'll just say, yeah, probably.
this
Um,
movie this movie is pretty orientalist, and we should like. I acknowledge that while also acknowledging what is strong about the movie as a constructed effort.
yes, it is Orientalist. It is basically all white cast, despite the characters being brown. It's a vague idea of the Middle East that doesn't really reflect reality, but it's also a fantasy movie, so I can forgive that a little bit. Um,
Right, yeah.
it's
It's
kind
very
of
abstracted.
a, a kingdom far away that is, and the far away is the Middle
Yeah.
East. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
which is questionable on its own, but it's not unworkable, I guess. It's not
yes,
something, yeah.
we're not talking about fucking Pocahontas here, okay? We're it's Aladdin.
We are
It's a bit racist. It's not. I don't think. Just like I don't think it's something that like takes so much away from the movie. I think because of the register, because of the fairy taleness, it gets away with some of it. Some of it I can't really
the the
excuse,
the
but
the Broadwayness.
yes. And
I think part of it, like some of the designs, I will acknowledge are a little rough. like the designs of side characters specifically, and especially in relation to like who is villainized versus who is like more heroic.
mhm.
You know, I feel like Aladdin has more typical ideas of like appeal that are designed that are aligned with like whiteness,
Mhm.
but yeah, I do want to note that there are ways in which this movie is a little, but I think part of it is that in most cases it's not any one thing, it's a lot of little things, and we're not dealing with like a Mr. Uniyoshi like localized thing here. It's just sort of more like bobbing and weaving through acknowledging the way that this movie's relationship to the setting is.
Yes. When we get to Pocahontas and its remake, we'll have much more concrete things to say about race and history, but Aladdin is Aladdin. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the movie because I can say things about that. You start with Arabian Nights. It's a beautiful tone setter. You know, you start on this like image of blistering heat, fire, and it's like who gives us like it's this song of like mysterious intrigue of this strange faraway place.
It is a very succinct once upon a time.
Yes, it's a once upon a time song, and then you get to the scene of Jafar out in the desert, and oh my god, the animation's so exciting with the horses and the beetle, and it's like,
Yes.
ooh, this is like a real adventure film. This is
Yes, it's an adventure film, which is a big point for the
this is some
movie.
Indiana Jones shit.
It's Indiana Jones to the point that one of the references for the animators when they were making the movie was Harrison Ford.
Yes.
So like it's like it's very much it's Indiana Jones, it's Douglas Fairbanks, Thief of Baghdad, you know because people used to reference movies that were more than 20 years older than they were.
Mm-hmm. It's like we had a friend recently compare Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom to like pulp comics of like the olden
like
times,
sort of like
more so than
like the grotesque
serials.
ones.
And I think this has some of that legacy in it. It's not as overt as fucking Temple of Doom, they're both racist.
No, yeah.
They're racist in similar ways.
Similar ways. I do feel like Temple of Doom has so much more venom in it, though.
Yeah,
I just want to say that as an aside.
But anyways, you get to that beautiful nighttime scene. Oh, the colors are so beautiful, and the animation is so amazing. They're stepping it up even from Beauty and the Beast, and you get the big CGI Cave of Wonders come out of the ground, and it should age poorly because it's not amazing CGI, but it works because it's this otherworldly thing that in a what has been directed as a pretty grounded realistic scene for animation has this big fantastical element that's supposed to be intimidating and scary, and so the weird kind of uncanniness of it actually ends up helping it.
Yes, like it like to reference something newer, the game Cultic has it's mostly sprite based, like it's a like a Doom type game, like a boomer shooter, but there comes a point where you have to fight an enemy that is fully like normally 3D modeled after fighting a whole game of like sprite enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see this thing, you're like, what the fuck is that? And suddenly it feels like it doesn't scan with everything else you've seen.
Yeah.
because everything else you've seen is either sprite based or voxels. So it's like that. It's like you juxtapose that against the really intricately hand painted imagery, and you see like that will eat me, that will kill me.
Yes.
And it does kill a motherfucker.
And then,
Like
oh
immediately.
yeah. That's what I was getting to. It kills a motherfucker, and that's another great tone setter. That's like, no, the danger is real here, you know.
The
And
danger is
Jafar doesn't
real,
give a
and
fuck.
he doesn't give a fuck, and it's this combination of, you know, not, he's not afraid and also not concerned about how many other people he'll have to sacrifice to get to what he wants.
Mm-hmm. So,
which, you know, again, like, that's something that you can see is kind of adapted from the original story.
yeah, and we've had these two scenes back to back, which set up complementary but different tones, and then we get to the next scene, which is a new tone because it's teaching us to, you know, you're gonna have to deal with this going all over the place. Okay, we're starting out one, two,
Yes.
three. It's all three of these things. It's a fun kind of adventure. Now it's a
Yes.
Disney kind of
Yes. It's
adventure
very
with
light on its feet.
one step ahead.
One jump ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I will know, after we watched it, that was probably the song that was most stuck in my head after rewatching it. I was whistling it a lot around the house after we watched it, and I mean, again, I'm not much of a music person, but the precision of this song is incredible.
Mhm.
You know, you can feel that this was a song that was really just devised beat by beat for maximum sort of expression at every turn of what kind of, like, how resilient and resourceful this kid is.
Yes,
You know, there's a
it reminded me of, I think we talked about this in the Beauty and the Beast episode. The first song in Beauty and the Beast is really just exposition. It's just telling you everything you need to
yes,
know
yes.
about Belle's character without you even realizing that you're being exposited to. And this is the same thing,
Yes.
but for Aladdin.
Yes. And, you know, I just want to note real quick just the great sort of lead into the song, which is just like, you're not in trouble if you don't get caught, and then the guy grabs him. It's just like, I'm in trouble. And it's just like, I think the thing is that Aladdin is really likable. He is so charming.
He is so charming. He's
He's just like, he's immediately the guy you want to root for. You know, you can really hear
when you talked about the
mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford reference, that really made it click, because he is always, especially when we talked about Indiana Jones, he is someone you always want to see outsmart the baddies, and it's the same with Aladdin. He's witty, he's cunning, but you love him. He's got a heart of gold.
He's witty and he's cunning, but he's also like, the thing is not that he's always able to avoid getting into trouble. He gets himself into situations. Now you get to see how he gets out of them, and that's always fun to see.
About fucking Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the
Indiana
best
Jones to Jackie Chan, you know,
openings to a movie ever, where you get like 5 minutes of him being the smartest guy in the fucking universe, and then he makes one wrong move and he has to bumble his way backwards for the whole thing. And it's like, okay, that's also, you know, teaching the audience this guy is both of these things.
Yes, and it grants you so much tonal dexterity on a momentary level, because you get to see him be really proficient and competent, and how he sort of deftly weaves through, you know, these perils, and then on the flip of a switch, you get to have him be very messy, and you can wring a lot of comedy out of that before dipping right back into the precision.
Yes. And, you know, Aladdin here, he is bad enough to get caught and have, you know, 20 guards chase, just a fluid amount of too many guards for one person chasing him, and
yes,
but still be able to bullshit his way out of it all.
Yes, he's the best. He's the kind of guy, if I'm writing a character like that, I'm like, well, this is a model. You know, cuz it's just like, cuz you can just have a lot of fun with it, and also it's really worth noting that Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, who were major screenwriters on the movie, went on to write the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the lineage is very direct, especially because Indiana Jones is definitely something that influenced the Pirates of the Caribbean movies as well.
Yes.
So there's a pretty concentrated through line of rapscallions getting themselves into trouble and getting back out. And, I think it's very important that when you see him, move through these situations, none of the comedy feels labored. And I think part of it is that it's never really him trying to be funny. It's just all reaction. Because that's where a lot of the best comedy stems from is behavior and reaction. I like that. Isn't that just a lot of what we're doing? Is we put a guy in a situation, he's got to get out of it. He's great.
Yes.
And One Jump Ahead is just so wildly charming. It's just a perfect means of endearing the viewer to the character.
Mm-hmm. And
because he's like,
no, you continue.
It's just he's such a little shit, but you want to see him get what belongs to him, which is just a loaf of bread.
Yes. And on top of all that, it's just a great fucking song. I don't have any fucking musical knowledge to explain to you why it's such a great song, but it is an amazing song. It's so catchy. I love it. And it has this, amazing action throughout. It's such a well-directed number.
Yes.
It's so smooth and fluid. It's another thing. The animation itself is also telling you about Aladdin's character, because that is one of the strengths of the medium. He's, this, loosey-goosey guy, both physically and as a character. And,
yes.
You finish that scene and, of course, he doesn't eat the bread. He ends up giving it to some kids, right? And
yes,
it might seem like this is just trying to say Aladdin's a good guy, you should like him, but I think that's kind of simplifying it. I think the audience should already be endeared to Aladdin. This is kind of just the way of the movie saying he's not an anti-hero, he's just a hero.
Yes.
If you have...
Yeah, he's just down on his luck in ways he needs to navigate.
A criminal
and he's right to
thief
navigate them.
as, the leader of this kind of or as the protagonist of this kind of light tone story. You might think, he's like an anti-hero. But no, he isn't. He isn't an anti-hero. He's just a hero. He's a Robin Hood. He's closer to... And he's not really Robin Hood. He just is it for these two kids. He didn't seek out to do that. He wanted to get some bread for himself.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy. He's a diamond in the rough.
He's a good kid who just needs, it's funny too, because it's one of those changes that's made from the original story where he's just sort of a shitter who doesn't want to take any accountability for his life or the people around him in any way. And here it's just no, he's just been forced in an unfortunate situation and he's living as best as he can in the context of that. Mm-hmm. And not, even though he, it's kind of this thing of he is someone with nothing, but when he has something, he spares the time to give it to others, as opposed to the kinds of people who already seem to have everything and will not spare any of it for anyone else. So that already positions him, as a protagonist you want to root for in relation to the world he's in. That's where you get the born a street rat, die a street rat, and only your fleas will mourn you bit.
Yes.
Because that's the world that is very hostile to him. And it's a world that, other people, in that world deserve better, but there's always going to be someone trying to push you down, kind of thing. And it, just, it's as efficient at expressing all of this in the minimum amount of time while not feeling like you're rushing it. Its cadence is flawless.
Yes. And you get to that born a street rat scene with the shitty prince, and that smoothly transitions us into the palace because it's a smooth transition. We don't just jump there for no goddamn reason. Um,
It's
and
there's a bit you reminded me of just now, but I don't think you get the reference, so it's fine.
and anyways,
Uh,
we reintroduce to Jafar as the royal vizier, and we meet the Sultan and Jasmine. Oh my god. All three of them are great characters. Jafar. Oh fuck! We didn't even mention Iago. That's number 4.
Iago.
Iago Gilbert Gottfried. God.
Gilbert fucking Gottfried.
Rest in peace to a real one.
He was. That is a performer I really. This movie has 2 performers I really miss hearing from. It's Robin Williams and Gilbert Gottfried. 2 wildly funny people, but we'll get more into that.
Mm-hmm. And Jafar, he's a mustache twirling villain here. Pretty
Truly
basic. What this story needs: someone who just wants power and untold riches. And Sultan, who is a little bumbling idiot. But you're not supposed to worry about that too much. You just need an excuse for why he could be manipulated so easily.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like we shouldn't be getting involved in the geopolitics of Fairy Tale Land.
Oh man, wouldn't these be so much better if they half-ass interrogated the political aspect of their monarchical societies? Wouldn't they be so much better? Oh,
we've been here. I've played these games before.
It's not pretty. I don't like doing it.
I don't like doing it. Okay, but yeah, he's a fool. He's a buffoon.
Anyways, and finally, there's Jasmine, who is we're in the Disney Renaissance now. We've had Ariel and Belle, and Jasmine is just as, if not more, a revisionist princess as those 2 were. She, you look at like classic Disney, Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, where the end goal is to have a nice life as a princess. That's what that's their happily ever after.
Yeah.
But the revisionism is, she is a princess, but she wants more. Probably closest to Ariel, who was a few years old now.
Yes.
But a little bit different flavor. If you want to, I didn't know we'd be on this so much, but if you want to talk about race again, people have pointed out over the years that Disney's colored princesses, or princess stand-in close enoughs, Jasmine, Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Pocahontas are more sexualized than their white ones. And
yes, and
Jasmine
this is worth noting,
is wearing a much more revealing outfit than
skimpier
any Disney character ever before.
I mean, I think you could count Ariel.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ariel, but that's like a weird case.
That's a strange case, and she's modeled after so many like different similar designs, and I wouldn't call her very sexualized compared to Jasmine, who is admittedly leaning really hard into the Orientalism of it all.
Yes.
Like I feel like Ariel is kind of very pretty, bordering on, I wouldn't say sexual because she's like a kid, but it's kind of the way in which a young woman is wanted and projects her desire to be wanted and want others, if that makes sense.
I think so.
As opposed to Jasmine, who is just sort of ambiently sexual.
Yeah.
we're not splitting hairs about this, you know.
And it's fucking slave
But yeah.
Jasmine in an hour, so you know.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, yes.
uh,
Um
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
The character is well written on the
Yes,
screenplay
she
level.
is.
She, you know,
She like the others, you know, has a lot of wants and desires, and she wants to live a life of substance.
mhm,
You know, she doesn't want a stagnant life.
yes.
You know, which I think is the key thing for a lot, like if we're talking about what, not monarchy, but sort of the royal life in this case, what it represents in, like, at this moment, because a thing can be more than one thing in a story. At this juncture in the narrative, it represents a stagnation, as more evidenced by the bumbling sultan,
Hmm.
who doesn't, you know, he is a very stagnant person, and he sort of threatens to secure her to that stagnation, to like anchor her to it.
Yes, he's happy because
And
he's stupid, but his daughter is smart, so she's
he's
unhappy.
having his, yeah, exactly. So, you know, that functions. But yeah, you know, it serves as a really strong contrast in so many ways, because, like, Aladdin, for all his strife, his life is also full of adventure, you know? And that is the thing that Jasmine does not have.
Hmm.
And it's the thing that she wants very much. She wants a life that's exciting and a life that is driven.
And you know what we saw was adventurous and driven and exciting 2 minutes ago? Aladdin.
Yes. You know, it's just like this thing where, like, he's not in a good position, but god damn it if he isn't going to have some fun while he's negotiating the life that he's in.
Yeah.
I'd rather live dangerously but free kind of deal. I just want to sort of like in this interim, because we are going to talk about one particular vocal performance soon. I'd like to, you know, sort of highlight Scott Weinger and Linda Larkin as Aladdin and Jasmine, just because one thing I like about Scott Weinger as Aladdin is that you can almost hear the smile on his face a lot of the time. He's very emotive.
Hmm.
You know, Larkin has the resiliency. You know, they were also cases where they got different singers to do their musical parts. With Aladdin being sung by Brad Kane and Jasmine being sung by Leah Salonga. And I want to note that in advance, because it's almost like you do that when you need some degree of musical precision, and you don't just get the actor to do musical bits that they can't do. We're not there yet. Leave me alone.
Anyways, Aladdin and Jasmine meet when she runs away from home, sneaks out of the palace. Boom, they hit it off immediately. The chemistry is so palpable. We used to get real
Yes.
ass romance in movies. Holy shit. They gotta kiss, they gotta love each other, they gotta have 2.5 kids. Oh, yeah.
2.5.
And you see Jasmine has, you know, she's a little bit naive, but she's got the spirit. You know, like when she pole vaults over the roof where she surprises Aladdin because, oh, but a girl can't do that. Um, and it's great, and they have that beautiful moment together. Aladdin's home thing, I don't, it's where he lives. It's so pretty, and the sunset and the background, and it's so pretty.
This is one of the most beautiful, like, visually stunning movies of all the ones that we've covered.
Yes.
It's incredible how much, like it's truly pulling out of all the stops. You know, we're talking about Musker and Clements coming off of you know, like they did Little Mermaid, as did Ashman and Menken, And this is what it is when you're just like, all right, I trust you and will actually meaningfully work with you instead of cutting your legs off. You know, it's a lot of people just trying to make the best thing that they can. As a result of all of that, they gave the team that made the movie means to do incredible things. They gave them the money and the time to do so, compared to, you know, a case like The Little Mermaid, where they had, you know, they had less means because Disney was in not great straits at the time.
They get captured, and Jasmine gets brought back, and Aladdin gets sent to the dungeon.
Dungeon
You know, the
noted.
color palette shifts back to where it was in the opening scenes with those, you know, deep blues and grays, because it's like, oh, we're going back to the mysterious, you know, pulpy adventure tone, because we can tell you these
Yes,
things
it's
with
sort
the
of.
visuals. And he meets the old man who's actually Jafar doing a funny voice. And he does a little Monte Cristo, says, I built the tunnel out of here, but I need a strapping young man to use it. And they go to the Cave of Wonders.
It's Cave of Wonders time, baby.
Cave of Wonders time. And oh my god, you thought this movie was beautiful before, and then they get to the Cave of Wonders. Ooh, baby. It's
We're winning out
oh my
here.
god, just the this is like what I think of
When you
when I think
called
of obscene riches.
Yes, they said we're calling it the Cave of Wonders. We have to live up to that, and they did. These are riches that no man could hold. These are riches that would change the world.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody can get to all of it because the cave does not want people to have it.
Yes. And you know, we've talked about the you know, musical numbers, but just the general score of this movie is also so amazing. It's so, you know,
Lincoln.
mysterious and intriguing, and probably another thing that's inspired by Indiana Jones. But it's okay because Indiana Jones is awesome. And it helps, you know, sell that, you know, tone leading up to the Cave of Wonders. And in the Cave of Wonders, first he meets the carpet, which
Carpet
is
baby.
another secondary character. We haven't mentioned Abu at all. Abu is fine. He serves his function. Carpet.
Although we gotta give props to Frank Welker for doing the best monkey noises that
Yes,
any one man has done.
Frank Welker does very very good monkey noises.
He does that. He plays Abu. He plays the Cave of Wonders, and he plays the Jasmine's Tiger.
Yes.
So he's really doing a lot of work here.
Anyways, carpet. It has always been very interesting to me because they managed to make this flat rug emote
Yes.
somehow
Yes. Without a face
without a
of any
face,
kind.
just with
No
little
face. No
bangles
face. No
on
voice.
his corners. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
You know when he's sad and he's
Uh,
happy and he's mad and excited, and he has no dialogue at all, and he's just
none.
a rug.
A rug.
I'm losing to a rug.
I'm losing to a rug. Jafar, of course, fucks him over. We've hit that point in the narrative.
Oh well, we need to talk about the really, you know, intriguing step up to the lamp, and then the subsequent lava chase
Yes.
out. That's like some of the best action in the movie. That's some of the best direction in the movie,
Yes.
especially when he's
Yes.
going up.
Yes.
Oh, it grabs your attention so tight, so tight. And
It's tight.
as you said, yes, Jafar betrays him, tries to take the lamp. Boo snatches it back, and you know, the cave collapses, and Jafar lets out just a beautiful no when he realizes that
And
he's been
on
duped.
and on that note, I will also bring up Jonathan Freeman as Jafar, who gives him, as you said, he's a pretty standard mustache twirler, but my God, he gives him so much intensity and hunger, you know, like a ravenous hunger. Apparently, you know, like he was the first actor cast. He spent a long time recording his dialogue, and then when Weinger and Larkin were cast, he adjusted his voice to be more intense because he was originally, like, he was designed a certain way. He was envisioned as an irritable character, but Muscar and Clemens decided that it would be stronger if he were typically very calm, and then I think he sort of brought it more. It's like he's calm but intense.
Yes.
And these are the right notes to juxtapose against the two very colorful, resilient personalities that he's running against.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, his animator, the lead animator for Jafar, Andreas Deha, who I believe we talked about it. We've already talked about it. We talked about it during Beauty and the Beast, sort of what it is when you are a queer artist, right? And you have an antagonist, and you're like, well, maybe this is a little, on some level, sort of problematic, but on the other hand, isn't it so much fun to be bad? And that's how he sort of animates Jafar, as much as when he also animated Scar, which we'll talk about when we do The Lion King. He just, Deha as a animator really has the team working under him vamp it up a lot. The reference material for the character is really vamped up and really making a meal of it. And, that's a lot of why Jafar is so enjoyable. Imagine if we stripped the character of any personality. Imagine that.
Imagine that. I don't want to, actually. I don't want to imagine that. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have it anywhere near me or my perception of the universe.
Oh.
And then Aladdin is stuck in the Cave of Wonders and he rubs the lamp.
He does the thing.
What
and
are we supposed to say about Robin Williams' Genie that hasn't already been said?
Genuinely, yes. He is... And I talked to you about this, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a comedian. And my first two sort of points of inspiration for that desire were Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. Almost nobody was quicker. At least, on the American comedy stage in particular, nobody was quicker. Nobody was more capable of balancing sort of a little tiny touch of acid and a lot of outsized cartoonisms in general, and sort of lacing that with, like, I guess, a frankness. I think that's one of my favorite things about Robin Williams. It's like, yes, he's very goofy, but there's an honesty to all of it. Even if he's doing, like, a voice, it's just like, okay, well, you're not, it doesn't feel like you're fishing for the humor. It just feels like it's serving as a natural extension of a thought that you had. You had an idea and you poured it into the wellspring of the work that you were doing. And it always feels honest to me. I think that's a big thing. Like, if you want to counter to that, then I will point to Dave Coulier, who did a lot of impressions. He was on Full House, and he is the corniest motherfucker possible.
Yes.
He's just a lot of voices and not any underlying personality. And meanwhile, when it concerns Robin Williams, when he's doing all these voices, when he's doing all these characterizations, he's lacing them into a broader sort of image overall, a broader comedic image and a broader image of characterization. No matter how many voices Genie does, no matter how many impressions he does, it's still Genie. He's not just voices. He has a really solid characterization that's not just Robin Williams does a voice.
Yes.
You know, what Genie is he's not altogether eager to please, but he knows that this is the thing that he's good at, and god damn it if he's not going to be proud of it. But also, if you start trying to manipulate the laws of how this functions, he is going to get impatient. He's clearly proud of the thing he can do, but also he's not happy that this is the only thing he is allowed to do. So,
like a great character moment for him is, I've referenced, already several times during this, him talking about his rules and how he won't bring anyone back from the dead. And he's like, it's not pretty. I don't like doing it. But like, even just like the phrasing of that, it's like, I don't like doing it. It's like, he can do it. He's just asking like, hey man, please don't make me do this. It's not going to work out right for either of us,
There are laws that I am beholden to, and this is the best way I can express that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to make a joke to do so, if I have to do a funny voice, then I will do it, because it's bad. Also, just kind of the implication that he has done it and it hasn't gone well. I don't know what he's seen. It's really great stuff, and everything sort of like, he's not just voices. He's a lot of voices, but he's not just that. And I think that plays into sort of him being another, like, all three characters, this sort of triad of characters, it's Jasmine, it's Aladdin, and it's Genie, they all want to be free of a stagnation.
Yes.
The same way that prior Disney Renaissance characters had been.
Wow. It's almost like there's a central theme to the movie about
there's a
freedom.
Central theme, it's about freedom, about what it is to be free and desire that. Genie is really, I think, the most succinct expression of that theme, while also still, like, you kind of get to have your cake and eat it, because he's not a restrained character. He's the furthest thing from a restrained character there could ever possibly be.
Yes.
But, there is still a discipline in the ways in which he is written and the things that he expresses. And when you combine that strong direction with improv work from one of the greatest to ever do that kind of improv work, you're going to have something that is focused but still really playful and really fun. I think that's just the big thing. He's just so much fun. Everybody loves Genie.
Yeah. You like, if you don't like Robin Williams' Genie, you ain't got a soul, man.
He's beautiful, and Robin Williams was like, I think the great thing is that he took the actual character work seriously, because I think he always did. He was just a great performer. He was a really strong actor, and not just a personality, not just a persona. I can think of some people who could potentially play the Genie who are sort of just persona in a lot of ways, and have sort of waylaid their own capacity to actually be an actor and provide a characterization. I can think of some people who would do that.
Who?
Anyways. Wait, did you say who?
Yeah, I said who, but if you don't want to say it, that's fine.
I was talking about Will Smith.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say someone other than Will Smith, but yes, Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith. Yeah, I was trying to make a joke.
Anyways, this goes into Friend Like Me, which is, another thing, going back to the thing I've talked about now multiple times with the great Howard Ashman, character exposition through song. We learn everything we need to know about the Genie's personality through the sequence. And also, it is gorgeous. It is so lively and energetic. The whole movie's so energetic, but this one scene is so amazing. I said this to Roxie when we were watching it, that it's the greatest musical number of all time. But it's not the best song in Aladdin. Because
yes.
it's that's the one that got stuck in my head. Friend Like Me. I'm always doing bits of Friend Like Me to myself. Um,
Yeah.
oh God, this movie is so fucking good. Jesus.
And it's just so insanely fun. It's the most fun number in the movie, and what it does is sort of, I think it's this great thing, right? About how Genie as a person is so big. He's so outsized. He sort of plays into sort of like, this spectacle of himself. He makes himself a giant spectacle
Mm-hmm.
because I think a good amount of it is just like, how do I express my value? I'm sure just the concept, like putting aside sort of any like sort of deep character motivations or history or anything. I think the thing about it is, what are the implications of a genie that behaves like this? What are the implications of a person that is robbed of, like what are the implications of a being of infinite power that can't use it, and then sort of like this is how his freedom expresses itself. It expresses itself through as much joy in the times where he exists outside of his lamp as humanly possible. And it's just like there is a subtle sadness to that, and I think it's just that little bit of spice that makes one of the most fun numbers in the thing so great, because his characterization is so precise. And I don't know, I think it's a lovely thing where that's coming from, I guess.
Yes. And then you get to see the two, you just get to enjoy the two characters working off each other, building a relationship, because
Yes.
that's going to be a core part of the movie.
Yes. Aladdin, one of the best bits, unironically, of how all of this functions is just Aladdin outright cheating Genie out of a wish.
Yes.
Because this is how Aladdin navigates pretty much all his like social interactions prior to actually meeting Jasmine. Is, well, I have to game the system in every single way that I can, because that's how I've made it out here. Like that's the archetype that he is, of being a thief and a bit of a scoundrel. This is how his interactions with other people are shaped through deceit, and how he has to find a way to get out of that cycle of lying.
Mm-hmm.
And that cycle, and I think it's a beautiful thing, that, and that is, there's so much characterization in his decision to cheat Genie out of a wish.
Yeah, this is the start of his arc, really.
Yes, it is, because Genie, he's not outraged per se, but he's like, all right, kid, fair game, but don't try that shit with me again.
Oh, you little
you
stinker.
know we already know that's how he is, and this is just an extension of that. And it's like, it's kind of an indication of, it's really smooth, but it's also really cheap.
Yes.
I think it's a testament to the fact that, like, it plays into his initial desire later in the movie to not give Genie his freedom, but that he's also not a bad enough person. The point isn't will he or won't he do it. The question is, how does that play into the relationship that proceeds to be built, which we will get into going forward.
Yes. And then they get to hang out in the Oasis, build that relationship more, see their plan play out. Well, Aladdin's plan that he helps. And, more fucking Genie being hilarious, because it's fucking Robin Williams. And it's all gold. It's all gold, people. It's all gold.
Absolute precision. Absolute precision.
Both the performance and the animation, they come together so beautifully. Oh, it's it's so good. It's so good.
It's a meal of a movie, baby.
And then the best song ever, which isn't the best song in the movie, but also gets stuck in my head. Prince Ali. Ew, bad. God, it's so big. It's so big. It's bigger than an elephant. It's bigger than the universe.
Bigger than
It's oh my God.
I think it's also a beautiful thing, right? About how, like, one thing I feel is evident without really having to say it, like once you've actually seen the movie, is that it's kind of a per genie basis, you know?
Yes.
Like as to how wishes are shaped. And so, again, this is him expressing what little freedom that he has. So he's like, "All right, let me kick this into 12th motherfucking gear." And so he becomes he becomes the ultimate hype man. There could be no man more hype than this.
Absolutely.
Because he's like, "This kid asked me to make him prince. I'll make him prince. He's gonna be the best damn prince this whole place has ever seen." It's so, man, this pound for pound, this movie probably has some of the most consistently catchy songs out of everything that we've covered so far.
It's an amazing soundtrack. There are no misses. Arabian Nights is
No
probably
misses.
the
It's
worst one,
crazy.
and it's still pretty good.
And it's not bad.
You
you
know,
know because because that's the thing, it's what we said, it's a tone setter. So it's like, it's not like all the songs necessarily have to be, just great on their own, like, listens. It also is just like, it should function as its own, like, I mean, it should function as a storytelling quantity, which I feel like is a lot of. Ooh, I'm getting upset now, because I can feel the specters of two particular songwriters hovering. They're in the goddamn walls.
Lennon and McCartney.
No. I don't know what a Lennon McCartney musical would have looked like, but that's a different conversation. Prince Ali is just, it's two wildly joyous musical numbers, one after the other, genuinely.
Yes, and that's it's
It's
we were in a low place before that. The whole dungeon, the Cave of Wonders.
yes.
It was the low point of the movie. Well, there's the second low point that comes later, but here it's like the world can be fun again, because we trained you to handle these two tones and see that they're one and the same. Because we put the
The
work in.
movie put the fucking work in, and it's we have the tonal dynamic range established. You get to ping pong it a little bit because of that.
Mhm.
You
And
know when you're making sort of a traditional narrative crowd pleaser, this is really, really important.
we've spent a lot of time on this original movie. I'm gonna try my best to get through the rest of it quicker.
It's okay. It's okay though. Look, we gotta struggle. So I think we're allowed to luxuriate. It's probably gonna be a two-part no matter what we do.
Yeah, fucking 5-parter. Uh,
Oh,
anyways, yeah, we see more. We see the Jafar make his new plan. Really, Iago make the new plan. Sultan be a fucking idiot. Uh, Jasmine get mad at Prince Ali. She hates this fucking guy. And you get that
this
beautiful
dumbass.
scene on the balcony. Great scene. This character interaction. It's so great. It's Aladdin learning more, seeing a different side of Jasmine, and trying making himself reflect, and then that goes into a whole new world, which has the very difficult job of being the thing that really needs you to to sell you on this romance. Now, it does have a great foundation from that opening bit with Jasmine in the marketplace and Aladdin, but it's still a lot, because this is the main part of the movie where we're gonna get to see them fall in love. They're gonna want to get married after this, so it's a lot on its shoulders, and it totally nails it. It is the best song in the movie. It is one of the best songs Disney has ever fucking written. It is romantic. It is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. It ties in so tightly with that theme of freedom we've been talking about. It's a beautiful song
Yes, yes.
about love and freedom, and how they work together and twine. And it's both vocal performances are top notch, especially the woman singing for Jasmine. I can't remember the singing voice
Leah
name.
Salonga.
Yes. And oh my god, what a beautiful fucking scene.
Ah, it's so good.
It's a perfect movie except for the racism.
Many such cases. Genuinely many such
It's the
cases.
real Breakfast at Tiffany's of the Disney catalog.
I mean, hey, I've never seen a more unforced error than Breakfast at Tiffany's just because it's that one character that I think I could edit out if I tried. That shit's just because Blake Edwards found racist shit funny.
He did. He found it very fucking funny. That is honestly, if he did not
You
find
don't.
racist shit so funny, he would be remembered as one of the greats. But he found it fucking
Yes, yes,
hilarious.
all timer. Yeah, yeah, all timer, all timer. Aside, and like I just want to say this is an aside because we won't be able to talk it here otherwise. Um, Days of Wine and Roses, very good movie. Not racist. It's really fucking good, and it's sort of like, I think this is a testament to how when you're building a crowd pleaser, I think there is a real necessity for actual joy, like for something to be like joyous.
Yes.
We both saw James Gunn's Superman, and we found it refreshing for that reason, because it's just like he's having a lot of fun with it, and characters are able to actually smile and express joy and love each other and sort of be a part of the world in ways that aren't just like mechanical and mercenary. And watch a movie like Aladdin, and it's like there is a genuine joy being espoused, you know. There's a genuine there's a sense of like, you don't just want an aesthetic, which is something that has been really common in Hollywood output lately. It's just very anesthetic. It's just like, it's not about making you feel good. It's just about distracting you from the fact that you feel bad, which I know sounds like the same thing, but I don't think they quite are. They're adjacent, but they're not quite the same. You know, because it almost sort of feels like, won't people find joy embarrassing? In which case, I will shoot you with a gun.
And then Jasmine realizes this is Aladdin because, we can only suspend our disbelief so much. So yeah, just let her find out.
Yes.
It's easier that way. And we cut back to them
It's
at the palace, because if we animated them flying back, all the kids in the audience would see them doing it nasty style on a flying carpet. But they're back there. Jasmine finally makes her dad happy by wanting to get married. Jafar gets outed as evil and gay, and then this is really the third act getting into gear. He's got the girl, but it's not over. He needs to finish his arc first, and there's some trickery, and this is a tiny thing I mentioned to you.
There's trickery.
With
yes.
Iago uses a perfect Jasmine impression in order to trick Aladdin to let her leaving the lamp alone, and it's they actually do set that up earlier in the movie, which I never thought about. They just set it up in a gag that he can do a perfect Jasmine impression.
Someone that I, friend of a friend, sort of acknowledged kind of how belabored setups are for payoffs in a lot of mainstream output lately. It's like, it's okay to just do it and not like lean into it really hard.
Yeah. You've
established a couple.
You don't need Chekhov to like tour his gun collection. You could just put it in there.
yeah. It's just like, look, I'm going to trust you, and if you're the one that doesn't trust me, that doesn't have anything to do with me. Like as an artist, like as a creative and as a creative team, it's just like, if you don't trust me, then you don't trust me. But I'm still gonna trust you, because that's the only way that we'll have a narrative that isn't so belabored like so many of the ones that we tend to see in this space, including from More recent Disney output, honestly.
And then Jafar comes back and he becomes all powerful, and he becomes a sultan, and it's very cool. And we get it. Oh, it's such a great reprise of Prince Ali. It's so fucking, I don't want to say satisfying, but it feels very
No, it's satisfying on a mechanical level. Like
yeah.
on a like it slots right in. You hear it again, you're like, ooh, because you recognize that the paradigm has shifted. You can see the moment that it happens. It is satisfying. It's, relatively upsetting in context because now you've seen, the narrative shift over, but you also see how it functions. And so it is really satisfying when you see people that are so in tune with their own narrative that they know just when and how to shift the paradigm. It's tremendously satisfying, and I love it. That's one of the best beats in the movie.
And he comes in all powerful sorcerer, and golf club knocks Aladdin into the Himalayas or whatever. And we get another great action scene. It's been a while since we've had any action, so there you go. And he flies back triumphant to rescue his princess, who is now slave Leia, but slave Jasmine. Which
There's so
is it problematic? Yes.
Yeah.
Did it have
Yeah, we're not gonna
a very deep effect on me as a child? Yes.
This was your Ka moment.
That was my Ka moment, seeing Slave Jasmine. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. There. Wonder if there's anything you could do with that.
I hope this doesn't awaken anything.
I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. Yeah, and there's a final fight, giant fucking snake, and you get a payoff to another thing, which doesn't seem like a setup when it initially happens, with Genie complaining about his itty bitty living space. And
yes,
they defeat Jafar through his hubris, which I think is a pretty satisfying way of defeating Jafar. It doesn't feel like he just became dumb at the end.
No, yeah, it's fully like, and then also the thing that it's a payoff to Aladdin tricking Genie in the beginning.
Yes, it is.
So it's just like he does it again. He takes this really cheap, admittedly cheap, kind of underhanded thing that he did, which he would never do to his friend now, and he turns it back on sort of one of the major oppressive forces in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And ooh, that's a good meal. Mm.
And
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Then the conclusion of the movie, conclusion of Aladdin's arc, where he says, even though it would benefit me, I don't want to deceive you any longer. I can't pretend to be something I'm not. And so he doesn't use his third wish to marry Jasmine. And this is a CinemaSins thing for me, because
it
has bothered me since I was a child. And I know
we're allowed.
Indulge me, audience, please. Because I know this does not really matter, but it has always bothered me. There are like 10 different ways to solve this situation without the Sultan changing the law himself, which it doesn't seem like he has an indication that he'll do earlier in the movie. Okay. Problem number 1. Aladdin wished to be a prince. He did not wish to look like a prince. He wished to be a prince. That means he is a prince, He never stopped being a prince. They just changed his clothes, okay? So he should still be allowed to marry Jasmine. The laws of the universe have dictated that this man is a prince. Okay, so that's problem number 1. But let's accept that he isn't a prince, and he doesn't want to use his last wish to be. He still wants to free the genie. Okay, then wish to be a prince, and then give the lamp to Jasmine, and just have her wish him free. You could just do that.
I never thought about that.
There's another person there. You have another free wishes. If she loves you,
she's not gonna use it again.
Yeah, she's not gonna fuck with you.
Knowing her, She just saw what that shit did. She's gonna be like, okay, look, I'm gonna use it, and then you're good. I'm good. I'm not touching that anymore.
And
That's just scary.
if you don't want to use it to be a prince again, because you know that's part of your arc, that's fine. You could just wish to change the law.
Just
If you could wish for anything.
admittedly, they do allude to you could just change the law in the remake, but by that point we're so embittered that we're not really giving the movie any of that credit.
Or Jasmine could just fucking leave with Aladdin. She could just say, I don't want to, if this is the rules for being a princess, I don't want to be a princess anymore. Let's go with the genie
My
to
ass
travel the world
is
or something.
out skis.
Like they do in the TV show. And that's my Cinema Sins rant about how the 10 different ways they could have solved the dilemma at the end of Aladdin without knowing that the Sultan would just say, whatever, you can marry her anyways. Which is fine, you know. I don't think it's like a terrible thing. He isn't like some like super developed character that I need to have. He needs to have an extended change of heart. He can just say, "Okay, you're a nice boy. I was wrong."
Yes.
But anyways, everyone's free now. Everyone's got their freedom, and it's a beautiful movie. And they cut the bit of the shopkeeper coming back at the end of the movie, so now that cold open doesn't really make any sense. But it's been so long, you've probably forgotten about it.
I think. Yeah, I think he works as more of an overture than he originally intended to function. We should probably note real quick that the shopkeeper is played by Robin Williams, and I don't. That's probably not.
Yes, because he was supposed to be the genie. That was the intention, that at the end it would be revealed that he was the genie in disguise. But they cut that.
It's a little hinky now.
Now he's just there for some reason.
Yeah.
And that's Aladdin. One of the best animated movies ever. One of the best movies ever.
Yeah, it's really wonderful.
Oh God.
Also, I think I noted to you, just real quick. I noted to you just the I love the wording, when he is initially freed and he says, "I'm history. No, I'm mythology. No, I don't care what I am. I'm free," and I think that's just such a wonderful note for the movie to really end on, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely.
It's so uplifting and joyous. I can't not smile and maybe tear up a little.
It's a perfect ass movie because I watched it when I was 8.
No, but it's a perfect script though.
It is a very, very good script.
It's
technically
it's a really.
I should note they were not allowed to submit this for screenplay at the Oscars because too much of Robin Williams' dialogue was improv. It was deemed ineligible because of that.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so
I didn't know that, and that's very funny, but also that's kind of stupid. I feel like you can see good structure when you see it, but that screenplay is fucking crackerjack in terms of structural everything.
It is
all
a good
the setups, all the payoffs,
and a lot of
wildly
very good
elegant
improv on top of the screenplay.
Yes, of course, and I'm glad they gave him the space to do that.
Yes,
you know, but man, it's a really good script, and like it. Legitimately, this is one of those things. Like, if I were to pick like a mainstream movie to show, like, you know, for a screenplay structure, this would be near the top. It's like it's really good.
That's Aladdin.
I guess we move to. Yes, that's Aladdin, and it's beautiful.
So, like the Beauty and the Beast episode, I did play Aladdin video games for this episode.
You did play Aladdin video games. Yes, you did.
So,
yes, you did.
Yeah, there was a big push for Aladdin video games when this came out. There were games on, I believe the NES got one, the Game Boy, Game Gear, Master System, but, you know, PC. But the two I played were the Sega Genesis game by Virgin Interactive and the Super Nintendo game by Capcom. And
yes.
So last time I fucking hated the video game, and this time these two fucking games are really good. I had a lot of fun. These games are awesome.
I watched her play. Like, I didn't play them myself. You know, there was an initial intention for maybe one of us to play one of them and the other plays the other, but she ended up playing both of them and having a really good time, so it's okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to directly compare them because, you know, it's such a long-standing retro game debate, which one is better, the
And
SNES
also,
or the Genesis.
I'm not good at classic platformers. I'm really not.
Yeah, I have more
My shit gets
experience.
rocked.
I only
She
needed
does.
to use a little bit of save
like
states.
the way you put it is, if they'd made an Aladdin immersive sim, you would have handed it to me.
Yes.
uh, but yeah, I was there while you played it, and you had a great time, with both of them, which is that's so crazy rare. That's a unicorn.
Can I go on a mini rant before we even get into the games? I'm gonna go on a mini rant. I originally
Go
wanted
on the mini
to
rant.
play these two games on the Nintendo Switch because they got a digital Eclipse, repackage. Not a real remaster. I want to note that at the start. It's not a real remaster. These are some ROMs
Yeah, it's a
in an
repackage.
application. And
Yes,
to be fair,
yes.
the Aladdin game on Genesis actually is considered a quote director's cut, where some cut content was added back in. There's better animations. I think there's maybe a new boss. I did not end up playing this on Switch, even though it would have been more convenient, because just the Disney Classic Games Pack, Aladdin and Lion King, which has the Genesis versions of Aladdin and Lion King, and it's $26 Canadian for two fucking games. And then if you want to get
Ugh.
the Super Nintendo Aladdin, which should have just been in the base package, plus like some Jungle Book games, it's another $13. What the fuck are you talking about? What? Mega Man
It's
Legacy Collection is
real
like
rough
20
out there.
bucks. And that is like 8 games. What are you talking about, Disney? I'm not paying that. I don't care how good they are. And they're good. I don't know if the Lion King games are good. But the Aladdin is fucking great.
I've heard Lion King is okay.
Yes, I've heard they're fine.
Um,
It's also Virgin Interactive, so I'm sure they did a good enough job. Um,
yeah, yeah.
what a weird fucking thing. I'm not paying that much for these. Play them, but play them emulated. Jesus.
It's that Vine Sauce Vinny game. Pay 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 this pay $20 for my Aladdin games. Okay, then.
Play my
Okay,
Aladdin
Disney.
video game. Okay. $35. No, Disney.
No, no Disney.
This is Canadian dollars, by the way. It's cheaper in America, but it's still fucking insane. Anyways, Aladdin. I'll start with the Genesis version because that's what I played first. Um, the big advantage of this version is they collaborated with real Disney animators for this, where they would draw,
Yes.
the animations, and they got backgrounds from the film scanned in and digitized for the game, and they traced over the real animation cells that the animators gave them into pixel art. And so just visually, it is a stunning game. It is one of the best looking games on the
Yes.
Genesis, genuinely. um and it's a very fun action game. I think the level design is challenging, but it's never like bullshit. I technically did use save states eventually, but it was basically
Yes.
just to
Yes.
give myself infinite lives. I don't think I actually used it to cheese anything like I kind of did in Beauty and the
No. Yeah.
Beast.
I can attest. I
Yeah,
can
I,
attest.
I basically only saved at what were already checkpoints. Um,
Which
um,
is also how I run save states as well, usually, unless you know the game is ass.
yeah, like Beauty and
I
the
don't
Beast.
play
I do
enough
not
ass
regret
games from that
using
period.
save states on that at all
Regret,
because if it wasn't for the
regret
podcast, I would
nothing.
not have gone to the end of it at all. I would have stopped it
Yeah,
after
no,
level
no,
one.
no. Yeah.
And
I think you did also mention yeah, oh, when you were talking about Disney tracing, I mean, with Disney doing animation for the game, you noted that apparently Disney animators would try to, like, was it like they would talk with Disney animators and they would be like, too many frames. It was like, what do you mean too many frames? What are you talking about?
yeah,
Because of memory limitations.
there was some back and forth at the beginning of the project where either A, they'd make it too detailed for them to trace over, or B, they'd make animation that was just genuinely too smooth. And it's like, no, we just don't have space on the cartridge to have this many frames of animation. And so, they'd have to do it again. But anyways, the game, it's a real looker. It's beautiful. It's a fun
Mm-hmm.
platform. It's an action platformer. You have a little sword, unlike the Genesis or Super Nintendo version.
Use your sword.
And it's hard to describe a video game in a podcast. Uh, you jump around slashing guys. It's I don't know. It's fun. It's very energetic. It's just as energetic at the movie. It captures that vibe. I love the fucking Cave of Wonders levels. That's probably the peak of the game. Um, yeah, it's a great game. And Super Nintendo version, completely different. No communication between either team. And developed by Capcom in Japan. And it's a great platformer. It's not really an action platformer like the Genesis version. It's just a platformer. It's very, very acrobatic, which I love. It captures that fluidity we talked about with Aladdin's character and film animation, and applies it to gameplay. You're always like flipping and swinging and all that shit. And I think the level design in it isn't great. There's some real bullshit moments, kind of a handful of blind jumps. Um, the controls take a while to get adjusted to, just because they feel so different than other platforms
Mm-hmm.
I've played. But that's not a criticism, because when you do learn them, they are very satisfying. I think I said this in my
Mm-hmm.
backlog review. I would love, love, love for a new like indie game or something to take the acrobatic platforming mechanics of this and use it for something brand new. Use it for a more fleshed out game. And
I think it'll definitely happen at some point. There's a lot of people who grew up with stuff like that running around
yeah,
making stuff now.
maybe it already exists. If it does, let me know. Um,
I will. I will. I know. I'll let you know.
yeah, but it also looks
We
very
both know
good.
someone who might be able to tell
Yeah,
us.
it also
Yeah.
looks very good. I don't think it looks as good as the Genesis version, just because the Disney connection. Um, I did see Scott the Woz make the analogy that the SNES version is the better game and the Genesis version is the better representation of the movie, which is a opinion I
Mm-hmm.
could see a lot of people having. I think I prefer the Genesis version in terms of gameplay just a smidge. Both of these games are amazing. I'd recommend both of them. If you're a fan of Aladdin at all, if you're a fan of classic platformers, I'd really recommend both of them. Genuinely, two of the best licensed games of all time. Like Aladdin Genesis, that's got to be up there with like Batman Arkham and fucking Simpsons Hit and Run or something. It's some of the best
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
licensed games of all time. You gotta mention Aladdin Genesis, and that was a very fun
Hell yeah.
detour for me. The external, the
Yes.
surrounding media for that original film, it ended up being good. I don't know if the other games are good. I don't think they share much in common with the two I played. I think the Master System Genesis one might be like a proto Infinite Runner. I might have heard. That's kind of interesting. So maybe I'll play it at
Huh.
some point. Um,
Yeah. That's so. I don't think you mentioned that. That's fascinating.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And yeah, those are the Aladdin video games I played. Um, really like the final
I played
boss
no
of the
games.
SNES one. That's fun. You had to jump on this snake's head,
I
and
played. I played zero game for this.
yeah, you did the
I would love to
PS5
play.
experience.
I mean, look, I would love to play a game for a podcast. It's just it hasn't really come up here.
I'm not sure. I'm
Uh,
not committing to play a ton of them. Um,
no, 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 no. I mean, I'll tell you this: if you don't want to, and we continue this podcast up to whenever the fuck Hercules comes out, I will play the Hercules game.
you'll play action game featuring Hercules.
I'll play action game featuring
It's
Hercules.
supposed to be like
You,
bullshit hard, right?
I've played it.
How much of it?
I got like halfway through, maybe a little more than that
Oh,
when I was a kid.
all right, you got the Milik.
I got the what?
The Milik.
The Milk.
There's an
It's
old
been a while.
Pedicarist review of the action game featuring Hercules, where I think milk is like a health regen, and or it's some kind of pickup. And when you pick it up, it plays like the pre-recorded sound of milk.
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 Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember. Yeah, I completely forgot. It's been a bit. But yeah, I would at least give it a try. I know, because like I don't assume that you would want to run that because it's known for being so hard.
Yeah. The Lion King game, I'll probably give it a try. It's also known for having some real bullshit difficulty. The Lilo and Stitch game, I do genuinely want to play the PS1 one. That's like a Crash Bandicoot clone. Other than that, I don't even know how many the games there even are other than that. But yeah, oh yeah, I guess there's one other Aladdin game. There's the Aladdin World and Kingdom Hearts, which sucks donkey balls and made me drop the game.
It's not great. It's not great. I won't. And I speak as someone who really likes Kingdom
See,
Hearts.
now that you've seen exactly how much I love Aladdin, you can see why I dropped Kingdom Hearts.
I do understand. I do fully understand. I'm with you there. I get it. Huh.
More movies. We watched 2 more animated movies.
Yes, we watched 2 more animated movies and then an abomination. We watched Aladdin and the Return of Jafar, and we watched Aladdin and the King of Thieves is what it's called, right?
Yes. Technically, the first one is just called Return of Jafar. There's no Aladdin in the title.
Oh, okay. Return of Jafar. Okay, it's a reverse Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
They really took the Indiana Jones influence seriously. They're all right.
Yeah, we'll start with Return of Jafar. It was the first direct-to-video sequel. It was okay. I've heard people talk about it pretty poorly, and I don't think so. I think it's like a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like it was nice seeing the characters back. Nice seeing like because Aladdin and Jasmine are played by actual like voice actors, they were able to get them back. They were not able to get Robin Williams back due to the extenuating circumstances of
they fucked him over.
Disney being shitters. They fucked him over, and he expressly said, I don't want my voice foregrounded in promotion. And then they said, well, we're going to do that. We've decided we're going to do that. And he was unhappy. And there's more to that story, but that's kind of the foregrounded thing that I can think of is that, they reneged on a deal and a promise that they made because they're Disney. And that's far from the worst thing Disney will do to you, but yeah.
And so, in order to replace the nigh irreplaceable Robin Williams, they got Dan Castellaneta, who is the longtime famous voice of Earthworm Jim in the Earthworm Jim cartoon.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, he did voice Earthworm Jim in the Earthworm Jim cartoon.
I did not know he voiced Earthworm Jim. I never watched that show. I've heard it's funny.
And he was in this other show. What's it called?
God damn it.
Disenchanted? No.
Oh. Disenchanted.
Oh, The Simpsons. He voices Domer.
The Simpsons. Domer.
Anyways, I am a fan of The Simpsons. I've
Yes,
seen
yes, she is. All right,
22 seasons of it. So
and she's still going.
I've been on
Like
hiatus for a
slowly,
while.
it's
I need
slow
to get
going.
back to it. I'm watching. I think I'm watching season 22 or season 23 right now. Um,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm in the HD era. I've seen all the pre HD stuff. If you want reference for where I am in the show. Um,
Yes, yes, yeah.
so needless to say, I've expressed to you many times how Homer is like one of my favorite characters in anything. He's one of the greatest characters in fiction. Okay, he's Homer goddamn Simpson. I love him very deeply, and Dan Castellaneta is
Yes,
part of the reason. He's amazing as Homer. Without him, the show would not still be on
he's
the
a
air.
tremendous he's a tremendous voice actor in
Yes,
general, but like Homer is such a tremendous characterization.
but can you put Homer in the genie suit? And the answer is, kinda.
It should be noted that after this movie, he did play the genie on the series
Yes.
in the Saturday morning cartoon,
This
which I have seen very little
Mhm.
of. We didn't go over that because we're not insane.
I yeah, we didn't watch any of the series. We considered it, but the reason we didn't is because Return of Jafar is basically just an extended pilot for the series.
Yeah, it's an extended pilot, and it acquits itself surprisingly well for an extended pilot to a Saturday morning cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Better, like when it was better than it has a right to be, especially after the struggle that we went through with the Beauty and the Beast direct to DVD movies.
Yes. Oh my god, there's I maybe I just thought this one was alright because those movies sent like my expectations to the gutter. But it's so much
It's
better than those movies. Holy shit.
it, I think it's fine, and then the expectations were set just a little bit by that. So like we basically we didn't have a horrible time watching it. I think that's the
Yes,
important
I
part.
enjoyed it.
We had it. We
Dan as the
Even though there
genie.
were numerous times where the both of us we were both distracted by him as the genie because
Yes.
there were so many little bits where I'm like, oh, Homer.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Homer.
the,
It's not, and it's like, it's not that he can't do other voices. It's like, no, it's just that his genie is close enough in proximity to Homer that it's jarring.
his Homer voice, at least how it's settled into past the first couple seasons, is mostly just his normal voice, but like with a dumb guy intonation on top of it. So it's not going to be,
Yeah, yeah.
incredibly different from his genie voice, which again isn't that far from his normal voice. Sometimes you pointed out he sounds like
Yeah, like he
Barney
can,
on The Simpsons, who he also voices.
yeah, yeah, he has like two bits where he sounds like Barney, and I think that's even funnier, to be honest. I think one moment he sounded a lot like Barney, and I died. Like, what the fuck?
He's like Homer with the Walter
Especially because I
Matthau
didn't
pulled
know.
out of it.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right. Which is very surreal, especially in the framework of this guy is playing Genie, voiced by Robin Williams. And it's funny. Like I can think of someone who probably would have been a better fit, but he was busy at the time. Paul Rugg, he worked on Animaniacs. He
Uh-huh.
voiced Freakazoid.
Yeah, he would be all right.
He would be. I think he would have been a good Genie, but he was doing Freakazoid, and he was he was a busy guy in the
I mean,
'90s doing like
Dan
it was like
Castellaneta was
mhm.
also doing The Simpsons.
Yes, he was, but Paul Rugg was not just voice acting; he was also show running like three different animated shows
Ah,
at Warner at the
yeah,
time.
that
So
makes
like
more sense.
Animaniacs, Freakazoid, Tiny Toons Adventures, you know, uh, that guy was really he was really busy at the time, so I don't think that would have even been possible even if they'd asked him. But yeah, it's really not bad, but especially because I still think Genie is recognizable as Genie. He's just like, oh, that's still my boy,
Mm-hmm.
it's still my guy. It's
He has some
it's
funny
just
jokes.
it is jarring.
It's jarring.
He has some funny bits.
Anyways,
It's yeah.
Jafar returns.
There's not really a lot to say about the plot. I don't think.
Iago and Jafar climb out of the sand, and the lamp can talk now for some reason.
Don't know how they did that.
And Jason
I
Alexander
forgot that already.
finds the lamp.
Jason Alexander.
He's fine in this movie. To quote another YouTuber, Shafil's Productions, why is Jason Alexander funnier in this than in a real Disney movie? I mean, it's a good point. Why is he funnier in this than a real Disney movie?
I don't know.
And he's fine.
It's just,
I said in my
fine.
Letterboxd review, it's just nice hanging out with my buddies again,
Yeah, because, I think that's the thing, right? This trio of characters is just lovely. And they didn't fuck up their characterization so badly that they feel like different people. So it's like, honestly, that is quite literally the only thing I would meaningfully, substantially ask of something like this. Everything else is just kind of gravy.
There is one
it's a
bone I have to pick with
go on
this movie, and that is
what's that?
Character designs. They all revert to their most marketable form, even though it doesn't make sense. Genie gets his bangles back on his wrists, even though those came off when he was freed. Aladdin dresses like he's poor again, even though he's next in line to be Sultan. You don't need to wear pants with holes sewed on top of them. You can get real pants now, Aladdin.
Get yourself some pants. Treat yourself.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Most marketable forms. I don't feel like there's a lot to say about the actual plot, is there?
No.
It's kind of there.
Iago, it's a redemption story for Iago. They did get Gilbert Gottfried
this
back.
is because he, Gilbert Gottfried was as much an actual voice actor as he was a comedian at this point. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen, just as an aside, you ever seen the Superman show? The animated show?
The animated one? The new one? Or the old one?
No, not the new one. The old one that's set in the same DC universe as the Batman animated series.
No, I have never seen it.
Gilbert Gottfried plays Mr.
Oh, I have seen the
Mr.
Mistopheles clips, and they are very funny.
That whole episode is I just wanna I know this is completely unrelated, but that whole episode is something that I just recommend on its own because it's just someone trying to bother someone so severely, and then eventually it's like, you know what? I will simply become unbothered. It's very funny. He really was a great comedic voice actor. He was very funny. And I'm glad that he played Iago. Didn't he also play Iago in Kingdom Hearts as well?
He might have.
Because it's moving around. And yeah. I think there really isn't even that much story to talk about, really. Jafar comes back. Iago has a redemption arc. He turns against Jafar. And I think the most notable thing to note is that Jafar is fully fucking dead. That bitch is so dead.
He dies for real.
They kill him so much there. It's crazy. It's almost hilarious.
Also, I do have to disagree. The most notable thing is not just that Jafar dies, it's that Gilbert Gottfried has a song. He has a musical number where he gets to sing in his Gilbert Gottfried voice.
Yes, because as I don't know, not everyone may know, but Gilbert Gottfried did not in fact sound the way no human being has ever sounded before. He did have a normal private speaking voice. He did not like people to know about it or hear it. We don't really play audio clips here anyways, but even if we did, we wouldn't run it here
Yeah,
because
Howard Stern.
I I just want to say for any reason, just fuck Howard
Fuck
Stern.
Howard for so
Fuck
many
that
reasons.
guy.
In this particular reason, because he exposed Gilbert Gottfried's normal speaking voice against his consent. Um,
Yes, I think it's honestly a good thing that the majority of people still haven't heard it
yes,
because who the fuck listens to Howard Stern?
people did. I don't know if they
Um,
still do, but at that time, people did.
well, they don't now, and most people only know the voice that he wanted people to hear.
Yes.
um, but yeah, um, he has a singing, he has a little bit of singing, and it's just like, I mean, look, uh, I mean, that's the thing. The songs are very forgettable in this movie. I don't even remember what the song sounded
Yeah,
like. It's
it's a
fine.
musical, and I don't remember any of the songs, which is a bad sign. But the
That's a
movie's
bad
fine.
sign. Didn't that happen?
It's whatever.
Now I'm just remembering the Moana thing about how the songwriters for the second one were like, "Oh, your kids will be singing it," and then they didn't do that because no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Very funny.
And
Um,
if you want to move on to King of Thieves,
yes. A little better.
yes, this is
Uh,
known as one of the best direct to DVD sequels, which is probably true, but it's still not like amazing.
yeah, yeah. We're all right. We're okay.
Yeah.
I think we're doing all right. One big point in this movie's favor is what's his name? Who plays Aladdin's father in this movie?
I believe it's John Rhys Davies.
Um, because John Rhys Davies is one of those actors who seems unable to turn it off
God, there's so
in
many
terms of his
fucking
gravitas.
Indiana Jones connections.
There are several. That
I wonder if that
honestly,
factored
I'll be
into his
real.
casting. Jeez, I didn't consider that.
I guarantee it. I didn't realize it either. Like now that we're talking about it, it's like no, absolutely. That's 100% it. Like cuz it's not like that's crazy. They knew the Indiana Jones influence and was like, what if we just take it a step further? And he was, he did it. And he's like I mean, I don't need to tell you that he's quite good in it because he's just pretty. His batting average is really strong, even in dog shit. But like, he's a good counter to the little guy sound of Scott Weinger as Aladdin because he has so much gravitas and
Yes.
Weinger is just his energy is like very plucky. It still is in this movie because that's kind of Aladdin. That's the guy. Um, it's great. I take no issue with that. I think I almost, despite remembering them just as much, which is not very much, the songs run a little long. So I like them a little less, just even though I don't remember either set because they run a little long.
Yes. I definitely remember a lot more of this movie. Um,
Oh yeah, I remember more of it as a movie because there's like a fairly substantive narrative happening that builds off of what is known in the prior movies, including yes, they didn't just forget that Iago was redeemed. He is just a part of the cast and hanging around,
yes. They didn't pull a
and
Cinderella
I'm
free.
cool with that. To be fair with Cinderella 3, that was a really weird case because like they did the second one and then they retconned it, but also indicate that it just kind of happened again anyways. I don't know.
Who fucking
Weird one.
knows? The big thing of this movie that we haven't mentioned so far is Robin Williams is back as the genie. Disney management changed. I think Jeffrey Katzenberg had left, and
Yes.
It was
pettiest
enough
bitch.
change that he felt comfortable coming back, and he is good. He is energetic. He is funny, but
Yeah, of course.
I think they were a little bit too excited to have him back.
He is basically oops all bits in this one.
Yes.
And it's like, I feel like it misses the core of Genie. It's just like, I never felt like he was sort of detached. Like I said, every bit is an extension of a thing that he meaningfully feels. You know, like when he says I'm losing to a rug, that's a sincere expression of his like consternation.
Yes.
You know, when he says you know, like whenever he makes a reference, part of why it functions is because you know it is integrate with the scene itself and with the feeling that Genie is having. When he says I don't like doing it, that is a genuine expression of disgust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, this is sort of what happens when the bits that he does are completely incongruous with anything expressed or felt.
Yes.
And that's not the most egregious thing in the world, but it is a little draining. It's not too draining because I love Robin Williams. He's one of my favorite performers ever. But it's a little, I'll call it frustrating.
I think
Being like just
my problem is his presence is overwhelming. Despite the fact that he
yes.
is entirely irrelevant to the narrative. You could remove him from this movie
Yes, I
and
think that
basically nothing would change.
he is such an intricately kind of locked in piece of the first movie. Genuinely, he's so integral to the movie on in a mechanical and emotional level that you know you can't just sort of obviously you can't replay because that's the role of him in the original story, but you know there's never a moment where I look at anything that Genie does in the original movie and think of it as superfluous ever.
Yes. I'm not saying
And
like to
he's just there's
remove
no
him, just like give him something to do.
give him something to
He's
do.
just
Like
hanging
I mean,
around.
it does like I said to you that it feels like they wrote the script without him,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were either told get him like you should write him back in, or they were able to get Robin Williams back, and so they wrote a lot of either bits for him or a lot of space for him to do bits. But the problem is you can only do so much when your narrative arc and through line is nil. It's not there. So he can't really do a lot. It's kind of like it's sort of like if Genie was more Beetlejuice. Because Beetlejuice is a guy that facilitates other characters' growth and responses. He's as a character himself, he is just bits, and he doesn't actually grow or learn anything. And that's kind of how Genie feels in this movie, and it's a little sad to say after such a strong, arc existing in tandem with the other two characters. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's a marked downgrade. It's a little disappointing. Not a deal breaker because again, like he can riff with the best of them, but he is the best of them. There's a bit of frustration watching it.
It's a hand of Midas, and I want to find something to say about this movie so I don't have to move on.
Like I can at least say this about the King of Thieves in the movie. He does feel like a meaningful extension of the things that Aladdin is sort of wrestling with in the first movie. Because there's this King of Thieves, and Aladdin and Jasmine are getting married. His guys show up. They do the most destructive heist I've ever seen in any movie. Where they just said, what if in order to get what we wanted, we just blew up the building? Aladdin ends up, finding him, and he finds out No, there's a whole deal with an oracle that tells you things, and they were able to speak to the oracle. He finds out that that's his dad, and he talks with him, and a guy wrestles a shark at one point because that's one of the titular 40 thieves from the story, and as referenced in
Friendly.
Friend Like Me, yeah. The narrative is just kind of curiously detached in some ways. It's just, the causality. When you've dealt with sort of a peak of narrative causality in a crowd pleaser like Aladdin, anything else just sort of feels like some stuff happened. The thieves, for the most part, other than the king, are pretty forgettable outside of the one that wants to take down the king, who, again, he's the one that fought the shark because they thought, oh, Aladdin killed him in the trial the challenge that they called it. And then they threw him off a cliff. He beat the shit out of, like, two sharks, got out, schemed with... Who did he scheme with again?
I don't fucking
I don't know.
know.
I can feel the a darkness settling over your soul as we
Oh, Roxie.
as the open are the double doors of the horizon.
Roxie, I don't want to do it.
Bolts.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
Oh, it's okay. We can do this. We can do this. We're gonna bear much fruit.
I don't want to do it.
She doesn't like doing it.
We thought about turning it off halfway through.
We did. Like, I actually asked, is this gonna be the first DNF of the whole podcast? And I asked that. And she, while suffering, said to me, "No, we gotta do it. We gotta finish it." She was suffering more than I was, and she was like, "Nope, we gotta."
I've been suffering for like a week straight.
But yeah, it's. I think it's fine. My thoughts on it are a little scattered because I can't remember it that well. But you know what? I think you could do worse than having this to be your send off to these characters in a trilogy that didn't really need to be a trilogy.
Mm.
It's an okay goodbye to the real genie and the real Aladdin. Goodbye, laddie, because we must now talk about your horrible clone. Your horrible, horrible clone. Thank you for listening to part 1 of this 2-part episode, and stay tuned for part 2. Thank you.